Alright, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Shalom Abarakim, Labakarim Shayasha Allah, and Shenya Kapad, Gawal Rakwab Zakwanawa Shayasha Allah Ba'aith. All praise to the Most High Yahweh, in the name of the Son, Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Israel, known as Great Millstone in these times. IBARYATH, MAYAWAM, MARAR. Hebrew word of today. The Hebrew word of today is bitter. All right, and the way that you say that is MARAR. Ma, Ra, and Ra, MARAR, and that's Hebrews Strong's 48:43. All right, IBARYATH, MAYAWAM, MARAR. Alright, Shalom Yasha'Allah, Shalom Labakarim, Shalom Mashapakathia, Shalom Zaquanimya. Alright, peace to Israel, peace to the elect, peace to my family, and peace to my elders and apostles. Alright, Shalom, IBARYATH, MAYAWAM, MARAR. Alright, now of course I got a couple scriptures I want to edify. I pray to Yahweh Shema Shai that some edification comes out of this, all through the Spirit. Now let me just grab these precepts here. I got 3 precepts for this Hebrew word bitter, alright, which is marar. And it comes up, you know, many times in the scriptures, and I just got a couple here for examples. This is, I'm going to use this first one here in Exodus chapter 12, verse 8. This is part of the Pesach, okay? This is Exodus 12, verse 8. It says, "And they shall eat the flesh in that night, roast the fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat." All right, and the reason this is talking about during the Passover, all right, the reason why we eat bitter herbs is to remember the affliction that we had in back in Egypt, which now we're back in this carnation, we're dealing with the same affliction. So that's why we have to eat, or ma'akal, which means eat, hamar or hamara, all right, which means the herb, the bitter herb. Now when you look up the word bitter in that verse, is going to say mararium, which means bitterness or bitterly, all right, or the, you know, bitterness. And that's what that word there is mararium, which means bitter. And of course we have to whenever we eat the bitter herb, which we don't always have to do it just during the Pesach, you know, buy some horseradish, you can do it throughout your own leisure, just to remind yourself of the bitterness that we're in, you know, to keep us circumspect and humble. All right, now this is the book of Ruth, chapter 1, verse 20. It says, "And she said unto them, Call me not Naomi, call me Marah, for the Almighty hath dealt very bitterly with me. I went out full, and the Lord hath brought me home again empty. When they call me, why then call ye me Naomi, seeing the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai have testified against me, and the Almighty have afflicted me?" Now Naomi, she said, she broke down the word, and that's how it is in the scriptures. Usually when they give a word or a Hebrew word, right after it, it's going to give you the definition of it. And here's one of the examples where Naomi said, "Don't call me Naomi anymore, call me Marah, for the Lord Almighty have dealt very bitterly with me." And when you look up that word, it actually is Marah. It's a ma, a ra, and a ha to make it feminine for Naomi. All right, because when you read the story, you could see she was catching hell, you know. So she said, "Look, don't call me Naomi, call me Marah." All right, because the Lord's dealing very bitterly with me. And that applies to us, man. Just like when you go into the word America, we always bring this out. The mer part of America means bitter. Okay, so again, IBARYATH, MAYAWAM, Marar, which when you look up bitter in certain instances, you're gonna see Marah. All right, then when you click on the root form of that, it's going to take you all the way back to the Strong's 48:43 in the Hebrew, which is marar. All right, and that is the root word for bitter. All right, now this is the last precept I have. Revelation chapter 10, verse 9. It says, I went unto the angel and said unto him, Give me the little book. And he said unto me, Take it and eat it. It shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand, and I ate it up, and it was in my mouth, sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. Right, so this is the book that is talking about, that had Lamentations Lamentations, woe and mourning written on it. All right. So when we first received this truth, it's pleasant, you know, it's sweet. We know we're Israelites, we know we're chosen of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, we're the sons of the power. Yes, that's great. Now, when it's time to start acting on what it means to be an Israelite, all right, it becomes bitter to your belly, not actually your physical belly, but it's talking about your soul, your whole essence. You know, our whole beings should be groaning and in bitterness, or ba marar, all right, in bitter, or ba mararium, in bitterness. You know, that's what John the Revelator meant here. When he received it, it was great. He saw the salvation, he saw the destruction, he saw the upliftment of the elect, the Israelite foreigners, he saw the prophecies, he saw the image of the Lord. You know, it was all sweet and it was great. But when it really came down to the conclusion of everything, he saw what? The tribulation, the anguish, you know, the poverty, the groaning that he's going to have to go through himself, which he's back in these times, and that we're going to have to go to collectively, you know. So, and when you look that word up there, it says ha-marah la batanya. Ha-marah means the bitter, la to batan means belly, and ya means my. So ha-marah la batanya, that's literally what is said there when it says my belly was bitter, you know. So again, IBARYATH, MAYAWAM, MARAR, bitter. I hope some edification came out of this. IBARYATH, MAYAWAM, you know, this Hebrew of today. And with that, again, I want to give all praise to Kal Halal Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And I pray to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai that the elect out there, that you can continue to endure in this harsh captivity that we're in, which is going to get worse and it's going to get more bitter, you know. Iwad Marar, you know, or I'm sorry, Rob Marar, which means very bitter, you know. So with that, Shalom.